What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Miller Basketball Show. This is episode 20 of season 1. This is just a high school mini recap, man. You're joined obviously by me, Coach Vic, and Nick. Today we're here in person once again, ready to bring you guys some of the quick updates, recaps, maybe the top headlines, some of the news going on moving forward. We kind of already had the transfer portal start up as far as high school goes. And so we just want to kind of dive into some of those things. This is more of a free-flowing kind of talking episode. Not too analytical based, not too scouting based, maybe. Just more so just getting out the topics, just getting out the main things, the big points that maybe everybody's thinking about, or everybody's pointing out some of the things that maybe we have coming up for the Big Miller Basketball channel as well. And so, yeah, Nick, how you been, bro?
I've been good, man. It's been fun this last couple of weeks. Just getting caught up ever since state finals concluded. Just kind of getting our feet back under ours, and then kind of getting a plan for next year. But yeah, it's been fun. I appreciate you for coming on over here and hopping on this and talking a little ball with me.
You know it, man. Anytime I get a chance, bro, that's what I'm doing. I'm in the gym 24/7. I even got my whistle around my neck still, you can see. So I'm in the gym 24/7, man, trying to get this ball going. I guess we can start at the top. We can just run down some of the few things. Obviously, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you know this for sure. 6A boys. We had Bryant take home the back-to-back. CB take home the MVP status there. Very well deserved. He'll be going on to have a great career next year. That's some of the things that I do want to talk about today. Like I said, it's not very scouting-based, very analytical-based, but I do want to just shed some light to some of these guys that are actually going on to play at the next level who had great seasons as well already. CB is one of those guys, obviously, at the top of that list. RJ's followed up right behind him. And then if you come out of the 6A, we know Bryant beat Central. Then you come out of 6A, you go to 5A. We obviously had a great dogfight there between two very well-coached teams, two fiery, fueled-up programs that came into that game, that came to Hot Springs really with just determination, grit, and grind. And they gave us a great 5A game between Marion and Parkview. Dive into that one. Like, that was such an electric game. Yeah. I love the buzzer beater, or the go-ahead, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it wasn't go-ahead, but to tie the game there.
Yeah, we actually have a screen going behind it here, and it's just kind of playing, looping videos, and it's actually that game, actually. So, actually, there's the layup you just talked about.
And, man,
yeah.
Love that Parkview won that game. Controversial things been going around. I've been seeing a ton of people talk about it on social media. Is that layup where Dexter Higgins was fouled or not fouled, right, there at the end on the final finish. I've heard it and I've seen it so many ways. I've seen people trying to slow it down and replay it and slow-mo it, and I'm like, man, that's tough.
I think it's one of those things you can't, as a ref, you can't call that there.
Exactly.
But if it was any other point in the game, it probably would have been. But who knows if he would have made it.
Right.
And it's one of those things.
You get that pressure on you get up there, you got one to win it all, and you forget how to shoot a free throw suddenly, right? So yeah. I think that would have been a crazy thing to see. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure if you're a real basketball fan, if you're a coach, a player, there's no way, especially unless it's just completely egregious and over the top. You don't want to end the game shooting a free throw at all. Like, whether you're going to the line or whether your team that gets it called against you, it's not the way you really want to win the game. You want to feel like you really went out there and smashed this one and earned it. And in overtime, that's exactly what Parkview showed up and did. So,
yeah, to be honest with you, I think this will be two teams that we'll probably see again.
Right. I mean,
honestly, there's two teams that's not going away anytime soon. They have the guys. They both have pretty good younger teams. They'll be fun for a while.
Sure.
And I'm sure they'll get their rematch. It might not be at the state finals, but yeah, for sure.
Now, on Parkview side, they're going to have probably a skip year, if I just had to guess, right? Because 9 seniors all gone. You just have to fully reload the roster with the JV guys that you got and maybe some transfers that come in. And so, obviously, it's going to take some time to put that together. But then they thought the same thing with Coach Harrison, right? This is his first year. They won 5 games last year. He comes in and wins the championship, right?
No one knew Lanier was coming in.
So exactly.
I think that's a school with a lot of uncertainty at other places. If that feels like a stable school in Little Rock,
right,
where I think a lot of kids are already looking at it thinking, I can go play there. With Hall going away, it's one less school in the area. Maybe Robinson had another, down year. Who knows what happens to Central's guys?
True.
I think Parkview's going to be a pretty popular place for the transfer portal. To be
I 100% expect it to be. As far as kids going out, I don't think that there's anything that they can't you're not going to replace Jacob Lanier, right? Like
Obviously
just
not.
off the rip, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's going to be your big hump to get over, right? You're going to have to figure out, I'm not replacing that type of superstar talent. So let me get a good core group of guys who want to come in here and grind and build it up and work together to be those stars at the next stage, right? So I think that's kind of where the thought process goes for Coach Harrison and the Patriots as a whole. And then on Marion's side, though, like you were saying, I think they'll return quite a few kids. There were only the two starters. Yeah, Dex was the senior. Yeah, so
there's 3 of them.
There were only the
Jalen Chandler, Dex.
Yeah, there were only the 2 guys, right? That played the majority of the minutes for them at the wing spots, right? Yeah. That will be returning, which are Carlisle Highland, Duck, as most people know him, and Corbin Littlejohn, right? And so those guys will be pretty good juniors. You've also got Day over there as well. He'll be back next year, and he'll be able to expand his game. But a lot of those guys were seniors as well. So they'll be losing quite a bit. But I think their path to kind of refueling and restocking, especially with the championship level of experience, will be a little bit lighter than Parkview. And so obviously that could fare well for Coach Lewis and the Patriots trying to get back to Hot Springs again next year.
Let me ask you this. Staying in the 5A, you think of everybody that's losing people. There's a lot of big names that are leaving. Before the transfer portal maybe happens, obviously there's going to be a lot of movement.
Right.
But we don't know where they're going to go yet. If nothing moved, who would you have, you think? Who are your favorites next year without any movement?
No movement favorites.
Immediately, I kind of think Marion, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, probably Marion, really.
It's a little –
seems like a lot of people are leaving.
That's what I'm saying.
It's wide open.
Our senior class is really, really, really good. Like, I've been trying to tell people for 2 years now, like, since I've been a scout, right, per se.
Hot Springs. I think they could.
No, for sure. Since I've been a scout, though, this is the most talented class that I've seen easily in our state. And then outside of that, this is where I was kind of leading to, is you got a bunch. It's not to skip out the junior class right now. It's not to skip out the 2027 class. It's just they don't have the numbers. There's not masses. There's not masses of juniors right now that play basketball that are very, very, very high-level guys that star in their roles for their teams. Yeah. And so you skip that kind of and you go over to the 2028s. And when you do look at that, I was about to bring up Hot Springs. You see a group with – you got all state, all conference type of play out of Judah Johnson. Then you got an upcoming, guy like Nick Haynes over there as well. Then you got the freshman phenom, right, Van Hayes. They played. Deron's also a sophomore as well, so he'll be a junior coming up next year, right? So they'll have a lot of returning pieces that have that experience, right? They played this whole season, started almost every game. Yeah. Those guys really have built as a core group, playing together for the past few years since 7th, 8th, 9th grade. All of those things intel, right? All of those things intel. Another team that I would really be on the watch for in the 5A is Maumelle.
Yeah.
They had maybe what we might know to be a down year compared to like the last 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 that they've been kind of very consistently in the mix. And it wasn't a down year necessarily by play or anything like that. I think, once again, just the youth caught them, right? They had a lot of juniors that led the team, like Kenan Johnson, Cam Alexander. Those guys, really stepped up and made plays as juniors. You got Jackson Walker over there as well, who's also a junior, plays the interior, position for them.
I think that'll be another place that will get a lot of action in the transfer.
Exactly. So you add a great senior piece or two to that, a couple good role players to that, and then now you have continuity, you have flow, you have chemistry. So I think that's another good team as well.
Greene County Tech could be
GCT's only losing Carson McDaniel and Noah Oswalt that were just like super key parts off the top of my head.
Farmington's going to probably still be the team in the West over there, but
they always refuel, right? Just because the development over there through the program. If you're missing a role player, you're replacing a role player. Now we know you're not going to replace a Lane Taylor, right? Unless you have like a Press Taylor in an Eli Schwartzman on the same team, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're not going to replace the Eli, right? Yeah. But you still have a Press.
Yeah.
You still got the young guys growing up coming through. You've got Kason Brown.
Let me ask you this. So for a lot of people that are unfamiliar with people, just I'm talking not even of the 5A anymore, just kind of in general. You're an AAU guy.
Right.
Who are some people that you could see that might take that next step and be the star, since there's not going to be a JJ, there's not going to be a CB, that top tier guys. Obviously we still have the 28s and you can even include 28s really. But who are some kids that you can look at over the summer that are be like, yeah, they're gonna have a good. They could beat the dudes next year across the state.
There's a couple kids in mind. You've got TJ Daly at Nettleton.
Yeah.
He'll be an extreme leader from the play that he brings to the court, the fire, the intensity that he has on the court.
And obviously we know the Sprats and Elijah's.
Right.
I mean that like next group
the
down.
under notes. Man, a kid I ran across here a few days ago. We played actually in Searcy. You got Jaden Puckett and Jackson Pritchett, and I think they both go to Bentonville and then Bentonville West, respectively. Right. And so I think they will be able, just looking at those rosters and knowing those coaches, they'll try to get those guys some minutes early in the season. And if they're able to prove in those early minutes in the season, that could fare well very long out through the end of the season. Now, who knows if they hit the portal or something, right? We know Northwest Arkansas has had quite a bit of it in the past few years with the Springdale to Harbor, Harbor to Springdale, back to Bentonville, Bentonville West, right?
Yeah.
That kind of all jumbles around, just like Central Arkansas tends to do as well. But
it feels more dramatic up there.
It does. It does for some reason. I think only because the pieces that we see come and move and go are like the main guys, and you're like, this is up and left the ship, right? And so
I guess the main guys probably stay put more so in Central Arkansas, it seems, maybe than.
Who are some of your favorite underclassmen names, like guys maybe you've just shot a bit of? And then, like, I mean, we talked about guys like Baton Paydat, Cole Rockwell.
I think those two are honestly, staying on those two, and it doesn't answer your question, but PA's the team. Like we talked about the 5A and the 4A. PA's the team to. I mean, they might be the favorites right now,
right?
Without any too much movement going around. They were turning two of, if not the two best 27s in my opinion.
You know, I think will be a pretty good sleeper as well as what we're talking about, just teams overall, is Jacksonville.
Yeah, if they can stay put without any movement, that's a team that I am worried about, a little bit of movement going on.
Yeah, me too.
But if they can stay put, they have a great coach, so yeah.
I think North Little Rock will have a little bit of movement as well because they had a pretty heavy kind of senior class too, and it was kind of slept on because a couple of them were already transferred. So when they got there, you didn't know them already, so you didn't know what grade necessarily they were in or what to look at.
Yeah.
They had quite a few seniors this year, and then they obviously had the young guns, and most of them are all guards.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're looking for fits, right, and you're trying to play Ethan Polite and you're trying to play Elijah Bryant, you know, you're trying to mix all of these good, talented young guards on the court together. They got Bryson Cannon over there as well. You're just trying to put this type of talent on the floor together and figure out how it mixes and meshes. But if all of these guys do and play the same positions, what do you do, right? And as a coach, that's a very hard decision, right? So whatever decision the coach makes really doesn't have anything to do with anybody else but that coach and his staff. So outside of that, it's all about how the parent or the child receives what that coaching staff chose to do. If you lost your spots, lost minutes, blah, 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 if you didn't do this or you didn't show up or it wasn't going to be beneficial for us in our situation as coaching and coaching staffs, maybe parents taking it like, we're not going to stay here and just grind and earn our spot back. Maybe we'll just go where we know there's a spot waiting for us.
I'll say this, and it kind of goes along with teams to watch for. The 5A Central feels, you mentioned Jacksonville, but that feels wide open.
Right.
It really does. And the realignments came out, and it's a super big conference. Actually, I don't. Did you look at that at all?
I did. Yeah, I did. I checked.
I know the girls. It's like 10 teams.
Yep.
I know we've had some trouble with teams with our showcase events having to back out because they didn't realize they'd have 18 conference games. So
exactly.
18 of their 30 now are, conference.
In conference.
Yeah. So I wish we could figure out a way to spread it out a little bit more, and maybe the non-conference games a lot of people maybe look down on, but those are the. To me, that's one of the more fun times of the season, to be honest with you.
To me, like, that is the best time of the season. You're going to see the matchups you actually want to see, not the matchups you have to see.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, that makes for exciting basketball for fans. That's just about it.
Yeah.
And then there was another 5A team that I was going to mention that I think a lot of people slept on, or maybe they just got overlooked in the mix of things. The Sheridan Yellow Jackets were extremely, extremely, extremely good in the 5A South this year. Obviously, they got great young talent, right? They started a freshman half the year or the better half of the year, I should say. I'm pretty sure he started in most of the games. Wilson Reed also started two sophomores, at their guard spots. And Beckett Scott, Coach Scott, Joe Scott's son. He's a very talented point guard, very, very high IQ. That a lot of people, the small things, they don't even realize that he does. That he actually calculated and did.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jace Gatlin, also another great 2028. He can score the ball, ambidextrous kid, goes left, right, hustles, super determined, right, active.
Dude, the 5A South, that's probably where the champion's going to come from.
Packed. It's packed
for next year.
It's packed. And like I say, I think we kind of already have hinted at it. And a lot of people maybe already have it in their mind as well for Benton kind of being that favorite.
But Hot Springs is going to be good. Sheridan's
exactly.
going to be good. I think
Exactly.
Pine Bluff was young, and they should be better. Yeah, that's the conference.
It's going to come out to literally who's the best on any given night. Who's making the shots, who's boxing out, getting the rebounds, who's creating extra possessions. That's what it's going to come out to.
A conference that was similar to them this past season, you have the 6A West.
Right.
One thing I was surprised by, maybe not necessarily surprised by once the matchups came out, I was less surprised. But maybe, in January before we knew how things would shake out, I kind of expected the 6A West to do a little bit better in the state tournament.
I did 100%.
I mean, Fayetteville, they won a game. Fayetteville won a game. Bentonville West won a game, beating Southwest, a team that was up and down,
right?
More down. It felt like most of the season in terms of wins. They were on paper they were probably better than what their win-loss record showed in conference. But the 6A West did not have a very good showing.
No.
Do we think that'll change this coming?
I do. Like I say, a lot of those teams over there are the same exact way. Now that's where I said it wrong or I got away from it. I don't want to misquote myself here. And people are like, oh, this guy's contradicting himself. But the 6A West probably does have the heaviest load of the junior class. It's not super spread out all across the state until you got 5 or 6 guys that are going to be coming in next year as juniors going to seniors and they'll have all the experience under their belt. But Northwest Arkansas is an area like Fort Smith Northside. They've got 4 or 5 juniors that started last year that were all key guys. A couple of them all state, all conference, right? And so that's going to fare very well for the western half of the state. I think that's the reason why they were down this year is there was no middle. There wasn't no middle. It was literally all upper class. You ride with your upper class and your middle guys aren't really you got 2 or 3 or 4 and maybe they don't have the experience they should. So I think that might have been the problem for the West this year. I see a 100% turnaround though next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of teams that are in the Central that could, I think Bronx will be good.
Yeah.
Central should be good. North Rock should be good. There still be talent in the Central, don't get me wrong, but Jonesboro will be good.
I think Jonesboro will be really good because a lot of their guards, like half of their squad this past year they had 2 seniors, 1 senior, right? And so like mainly all of their squad was juniors.
Losing Nelson definitely will hurt, but then staying healthy will be their biggest.
It's 20 plus points a game you're losing right there. So you got to find ways to make that up. Now I know Swift knows that he has scorers on the bench, but like I say, can they defend and score is going to be, I think, the key for Jonesboro.
That's a project they'll have in the summer that they'll handle that.
For sure.
I don't have much worry in that for Jonesboro.
I also heard transfer portal was booming right now. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I've heard a few names that I really like.
Be something to watch.
Yeah, I heard a few names that I'm about to look and see if I want to drop one. I'm about to see. Maybe they posted it already because somebody told me that they saw it. They didn't hear about it. They saw it. Let's see if I can get.
I think we mentioned PA earlier. If Mills always gets transfers,
yes,
I'm sure they'll get something, and maybe be a little more appealing preseason. But that's another one in 4A that it'll run through like it always does. But outside of that in 4A, who are you?
Yeah, no, I don't have the transfer portal post has not been published, and so I won't leak it. But in the 4A, I'm excited to see Nashville. Honestly, I know it kind of sounds like a wild pool, a wild draw.
No, they were good.
They were good.
They beat Hall. I mean, they lost to Hall, but
they were good. They put up a fight, and then mostly like all of them are returning.
Yeah,
like they got
in the 3A Newport will be good.
Yes, they're all returning. Like
Osceola,
all of them. They had 2. They had 2 guards, and they came off the bench. Osceola's losing a lot, and
we tried to get Newport in our showcase, but they were about football.
Oh yeah, definitely a football school.
So Osceola was too, honestly.
Right, they was all in it. But no, I think for the 4A, like I say, Nashville's a great pick just for the few 2027s that they have, and that's how I kind of base things when I look at like off season going into next season. I look at who you have and who's returning. And then the returners, I kind of dive into who they are and what they do or what they did, right?
I got one for you in 4A. How about Ozark?
Yes. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. They are returning pretty much everybody as well.
Yeah.
Prairie Grove is going to surprise some people more than likely next year.
Kellen Cash.
Yeah, they're returning a lot of people. They'll have a 6'9", 2029 move up, Finn Stolzer.
Yeah.
So, like, they've got Wrangler Mans as well. He's a 2028. He's like a forward combo guard tweener. They'll be pretty solid. They'll be pretty solid.
I got to give them for you.
Yep.
You were high on the Woodlawn kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jude here. Yep. So let's just do this. So classification's lower than 4A. So a lot of the ones people maybe don't know about. Who's your next Jude Roberts for next year? Or a kid that you could see take that huge next step. And maybe I was gonna say in South Arkansas, but it doesn't have to be South Arkansas, I guess. It's just in general. Because that was a name that kind of came on the scene late that a lot of people maybe didn't know about. But I'm curious if you got a name here for us.
Do a little thinking real quick before I say the wrong name. Let's see, out of the South, in a smaller school out of the South.
We got someone in the comment here. Go ahead.
I got a great name actually. Blyville outlook for next year. Yeah, we'll get into that. Brennan Carter, appreciate you for the comment, Brennan. We'll get into that in just a second. Yeah, we'll check out and see what Blyville's probably going to look like for the next year. 6'5" point guard. A lot of people may kind of know this name because he had a hot summer last summer. Peyton Strickland, Monticello.
Okay.
And so I think he will be a dominant force to watch. He plays with so much pace, right? He's like, it almost looks like he's slow, like he's moving slow. He'll bump you, just get exactly where he needs to go, and I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm done.
It's a Luka type of game?
Yes, it very, very, very much so is. And he's even got like the subtle step backs. He likes to play finesse, even though he's 6'5". He'll have like a 5'10" guy guard him and still be able to wiggle around him instead of have to go through him. And so you're going to need that at points. You're going to have to know how to go left and right as well as go north and south. You know what I'm saying? You got to go east and west before you go north and south most of the time, right?
I'm curious your thoughts on Blyville. And he pointed that out to me. That's a team that we're going to have in one of our events. They're losing a lot.
They are.
Losing a lot.
They are.
So I'm curious, is this going to be same old Blyville? They're just going to reload, or what are we thinking here?
I think their transfer portal will be kind of moving because it honestly was this year. A lot of people Blyville's not a super overly paid attention to team. Yeah. So you probably just didn't recognize and thought those kids came up, but they had quite a few transfers in this year. The Jakyron Madden was from out of state. I mean, a lot of people know the Maddens from being in-state and know their basketball history, but he was not living here at all in the state. Transferred in, made an impact over there. Obviously, he'll be gone next year. But then they had
leaving.
Who?
Jameer.
Yeah, Guyton's gone. I think he'll be at Shawnee. I hope that comes through for him. Speaking of Shawnee, TJ Whitney from Nettleton just signed as well, so that's a good look for him. No, but you had transfers in for Blyville, Jakyron Madden. You had Quincy Perry from EPC as well. He was part of EPC's championship team last year. So a lot of people going back and looking at EPC, and when they got knocked out by Woodlawn, they were missing a big piece of what they know as a core team. And so I think that they have a chance to get that transfer portal moving again next year, and maybe get a piece from, who knows, Gosnell or Manila, maybe even one of those, two of the Osceola guys. You never know. Rivercrest, their two big seniors are leaving, right? They're going to play football, and so maybe some of those guys kind of swap up and fall under Coach Pierce's wing and want to, soak up some of that game over there, because great coaching, obviously good guy, smart guy, knowledgeable. So I think Blyville could have a chance to get a little hand in on that transfer portal situation, and hopefully they'll be right back in that same position. Like I say, with the good coaching, with the foundation that they've been able to build and the development they've been able to come through with, they should be okay, but it doesn't give them immediate promise. I think they will need a transfer piece or two if they want to get back to the same spot that they were in this year, for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, like we've been saying this whole time. I mean, a lot of people are losing people, across the state, especially in the 4A. So, honestly, everyone that felt like they were good in 4A for the most part seems to be graduating.
Yes.
So you look at the state tournament and the teams that played in the state tournament that made it, maybe didn't get bounced early. I think it feels like everyone's losing people, really. So
I agree. We were just talking about small school prospects too, and I got another really good one that a lot of people may know already. Daniel Couch. You know Daniel Couch, Riverside?
No.
Riverside. Tough.
Okay.
Like his game. He's really got a post up kind of interior, but then he can really play. he really wants to play out of the high post and the face up. Like you see it in him every time he catches the ball. He wants to look at the rim, but then he also can understand like, look, I got this smaller dude on me. I'm about to get to my spot, get it down here to me, and he's got good back to the basket, good posture, good moves, good footwork, good agility. It's not big, slow, and clunky. It looks nice too. So another small school prospect out of Riverside. That is Daniel Couch, be a guy 2027 to watch for next year. I think Riverside will be able to make their way into the playoffs next year. They were a hair away from it, I'd say, this year with a close loss in the regionals. Yeah, so I think they'll have a super chance next year. Appreciate the comment once again, Brandon. Appreciate the comment. Nigel commented too. I did not see that. Nigel commented and said that game was good.
He's
both
talking
teams.
About Parkview and Marion earlier.
420. Yeah, okay. That was about the first thing we talked about. Yeah. Appreciate you, Nigel. We appreciate the comment. Once again, same thing is for everybody. We appreciate any comments. We appreciate the feedback, the likes, the shares, reposts. All of that matters so much to us. It helps us out a ton. So we thank you all. If you're watching right now, we got about 30 live subscribers or 30 live viewers. Do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That'll help us out a ton as well to keep things coming your way on Big Miller Events.
Yeah, we have some exciting things coming. We have different projects coming, different things with, showcase events and, just general social media things. So we had a cool one that came out the other day with the Chat GPT.
The hypothetical winners, yeah. That was nice.
And honestly, it kind of surprised me how they actually had good text there. I mean, really.
They had good context. Like,
it was better than I thought. It really was. So we have a lot of things similar to that. If you don't know what we're talking about, be sure to slide over there and check that out. But Trey Rhodes. We said Norval Rhodes. Trey Rhodes is what they're recommending.
I hope he stays at Mills. He was great for him this year, man. So it would be good to see him there again next year.
He'll be Mills' guy.
He'll definitely be the staple for Mills at the guard spot.
I like Trey.
They also had young Caden Ferguson playing up, so maybe you'll get a little bit of that freshman mix in there next year. And obviously he'll be a sophomore, but I think he'll be able to earn some more clock next year beside Trey. Man,
that's
Mills will be wide open.
I'm not too worried about, really.
Mills will be wide open.
Mills is never a team you worry about.
They always restock, reload, and retool. You know what I'm saying? Always.
The coaching, I mean, everyone knows where to.
When I looked at the realignment, I just knew I was about to see Mills moved up. I just knew. I was like, I guarantee Mills is going. I clicked on. I was like, I guarantee Mills is moved up. I guarantee they moved him up. I guarantee they didn't move him up. So I was like, okay, cool. That fares well for them. I just knew they moved him up, but they didn't.
Surely they get some postseason play over there with their facilities.
Yeah, for sure. They deserve it too. Like I say, put that money in. It looked good over there. Nice vibes.
Anything else you want to touch on?
Not too much of a lot. We got some updates for some stuff coming in the future. Sometime next week, early middle of next week, we're gonna do some postseason awards for you guys. Right? We want every kid to have some shine right through our platform. So we're gonna just bust down, break down. We'll probably try to do some boys and girls. I'm gonna try to get with Chris and get with the guys and see, maybe if they can help us out, we can come with something, real fun, more constructive than just kind of getting on here with analytical talk, something that the kids can obviously get on here and get a little shine from as well, more than, like I say, super coachy, serious, analytical stuff, right?
Yeah.
Doing some postseason awards, and then we'll be doing this was the mini recap, right? So we'll do more of a deeper recap, a deeper dive. We might
the award show, probably a good one.
And then we'll probably pull up some of those, like I say, those box scores and stuff, just to re-highlight everything, show you guys kind of how it happened, the way it happened. Maybe just talk about some of the analytical things there. That's what I really like to do. I try to stay away from it as much as I can for the fans to not bore you all out, but that's just where my mind goes when I start talking and thinking basketball. So
no, we're good. We got different showcase events. We have team camps coming on the corner. We're almost full on our team camp team. So if you're a girls basketball coach, reach out to us. We have maybe 1 or 2 spots left. We're waiting to hear back from a few teams for those spots to be filled. But if you think your team can compete and you haven't heard from us yet, reach out to us. We'd love to get people involved as best we can. We have media days coming up. We have football media days. We should start reaching out to football guys before too long. That'll be the same setup there in Little Rock at First Community Bank.
Yep.
We got 2 basketball showcases coming. We're working on a third. One coming up in Jonesboro area. Another one probably at Little Rock Christian again, like the usual. Am I missing anything? I don't think so.
Nope. I think that's kind of all of the updates at the moment. Any last chance? Any last second comments? Anybody want to drop a comment of anything that they want us to cover before we jump off of here this evening? Once again, we appreciate you all for tuning in to episode 20 of the Big Miller Basketball Show. Please do us a favor and go follow Big Miller Events on Instagram, YouTube, right? Go give us a follow, a subscribe, drop a comment on a video, a link. We also have a Facebook page as well.
It's doing pretty good. It's
Yeah,
doing
it
better than I
is.
thought.
It's picking up. It's picking up for sure.
It's one of those things you kind of let it post in the background and it does its thing. But it had some pretty good videos blow up over the state tournament and state finals.
Yep. And so, like I said, we appreciate everything you guys do to keep us going, to keep us fueled, to keep us up and moving. Stay tuned for more. We got episodes coming next week. Maybe multiple. I'm pretty sure Chris and them are gonna do another episode of their own, right?
Yeah, we have the Between the Tusk. It's a Razorback show we've been doing. We'll do that. They'll do that every week. We'll have some little pop up things here and there. Me and my buddy, we've been hopping on talking about March Madness.
I saw it.
We'll probably do some NFL draft stuff. Just to kind of keep stuff fun, kind of keep it going, and then
nice. I'll probably bring something for the NBA playoffs then. I'll probably conjure up something so when the playoffs get here that we can get on here and still talk about it too, nightly or daily.
There's plenty of Arkansas guys to include there too.
Yeah. Prayers up Moses Moody. While we said that, prayers up to Moses Moody. Hope my guy gets well soon. That's scary, crazy. But yes, thank you all once again for tuning in to episode 20 of the Big Miller Basketball Show. This was our high school mini recap. I'm Coach Vic. You all know Nick Winger, the guy, the man, the legend himself. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're out.
Yep.
Peace.